Right meow.
You don't get my push. I'll shut your.
I could not care less what happens next. Unless what happens next is a foot massage, then I care. No, you can be off camera and rub my feet. Yes, you can. It's possible. It's not risky. You're just a lazy butt bag. Hi, Ashley. Always first, Ashley. Always first. Love that for us. Hi, you guys. How are you? Hi. You're somewhat review from my husband's being worthless. Oh, I'm your role model. That's terrible. You need to make better choices, happy hour. Oh my God, you guys. I'm so tired. He came in on butt bag, no context. Well, the context is you guys, or he is. You knew I'd do it live because I told you that in the mod chat in Discord, Mary. Am I, Ashley? That's amazing. Thank you, sweetie. Millennial Meg, you are not first. You're also stupid. Also, aren't you driving? Fix your life. Yay, Amber, you finally get to watch it live while it's happening. Welcome. It's going to be amazing. I'm in my pajamas. And then I put this on just in case. Ooh, have fun at Costco. Okay, so I was filming a vlog for you guys. And oh, hold on, I ruined chat. Oh, I super ruined chat. Where'd you go? I'm not going to sneeze. Oh, this is bad. Okay, hold on. I have no idea what you guys are saying. Don't say anything bad about me. Quit that program. Sure, save it. That's fine. I don't care. And then I'll just restore. And move. Everything's stupid and I hate it. Super good at this. I do suck. Yay, Rick got sponsored. Who'd you get sponsored by, Nerdlit? Okay. We can figure stuff out, right? No, clearly not. Why everything left? Okay. Why won't this work for me? Oh, I fixed it. I fixed that section of it. This is a shit show. Hi from Florida. Where in Florida? Okay, fix that. Okay. Ta-da! Okay. So every year, I one at a time. Hi, Met. I'm wildly unprepared, Iowa. Palm Harbor. I don't know where that is. I'm so sorry. I bet it's on the coast. It sounds like a coasty place. One of us did not bring tissues to this show. Just can we pretend like we haven't started the live stream yet? Okay. Live stream still pending. Please hold. Okay. We got this. Or we don't have this. I don't know. To be honest, I don't think we've got this. I do not think we've got this. So, every Christmas, okay, I do know where that is, Bonnie. I take my kids one at a time to go shop for their siblings' Christmas gifts. And every year I'm like, this will take maybe an hour and a half. Why do I think it's going to take that long? I just got home, horked down some food, got into my pajamas because I'm over it. And I'm not going to try to edit the footage for you guys because it just doesn't make sense. That was a really funny Discord, Mary. I'm not going to edit that right now because it's 6:30 my time, and so it wouldn't be out until like 10 p.m. So I was like, F it, we'll go live. We'll do it live. And I'll cobble that footage together for you guys. Maybe I'll add it into tomorrow's, but tomorrow is puppy haircut day. Hi, Kay. How are you, baby? We've got this. Jen, I never know you're Jen when you're Michael, ever. Um, also send your Michael Downs. I just again rewatched the Diane Downs shenanigans. And I was like, I really want to Google what happened to her kids. Hi, Steph. Steph had a dream about me, you guys. She's a pervert. And then she texted me. She's like, I had a dream about you. And I was like, gross, right? Who came in here? Oh, it's Nimoy. You're dying on an update for the RD. You're very invested. Okay, so you got hold on. Shut up. Get out. I don't want to squeeze too much, but okay. So I think the second week of January, I'm gonna drive down to Tampa. I think I am. And go in there and be like, excuse me, could you explain to me how interest rates work? I have another large payment that I want to pay to them, but I just don't trust them because I feel like they hold my extra payments to pay off balance. I feel like they hold them as long as they possibly can. Because if I send it in the mail, I swear it takes at least 3.5 weeks for it to post. And while I do agree that our mail system is stupid, I think that they hold it so that they could charge me more interest. um, Life working for a children's division has been shit for weeks. I'm so sorry, sweetie. And you haven't purchased any gifts yet. Blah. Everybody was out today. Everyone was out today. Ooh, making chocolates. I love that. You're currently on a gummy. um, you guys should show up with me. We just give them the stink eye and be like, what are you doing? So I'm excited about that. And I think, okay, I have two things, two sides to this. Hola, Beth. Okay, you're in Spain. It's very late. I'm sorry that you're up so late. No espera, no esperaba un directo. What does that mean? So las una menos 20. It's a. I know that you gave me a hug, but you love to listen. So it's a couple minutes till midnight, I'm guessing, but you love to listen and give me a hug. Hi, honey. You have a migraine? I'm so sorry, baby. Um, Rest up, Emma. You'll be in Florida the second week in January. Mary, do you want to hang out? Because I think you're only going to be 2 hours for me at most. Does that mean I feel like it's 2 hours? Your brother and his wife are going to the Florida Mall tonight. There's there's more than one mall in Florida. Do you want to narrow it down or we're just going to do the vague ass? Ooh, hi from London. I love that, sweetie. I want to be in London. I hope I take with you guys too because I'm frustrated. I have a really good document to show them. And like I have fancy documents, dude. And I'm very petty. Genuinely, 6 hours? 6 hours. Ew. Amy. Hi, Ami. How are you, sweetie? I hope you're having a lovely summer. You just think it's called the Florida Mall in Orlando? Oh, maybe. Maybe. I will blow the Dockers right off of them. Am I feeling better now? Yes. So no. Yes. So two things. One, I clear my throat way too often, and now I'm concerned it's throat cancer. Two, because my toe stopped hurting. My toe hurt really bad for a long time. Like it hurt really bad. And so that was toe cancer, but now it's done hurting. But I did notice I clear my throat way too often. So probably throat cancer. But second, what was the question? Am I feeling better now? Not really. My allergies are still kind of crazy, but hi Pam. But yesterday I took a Benadryl and I was gonna go help with the Angel Tree distribution, the Salvation Army. It was the 19th and I was gonna go do it, and I took it, and I literally could not stay awake on the couch. Like, I was fighting, and I fell asleep for, like, another 2 hours, and I woke up, and my kids were just, like, functioning around me, and they were like, "Hello, welcome back." And I was like, "What happened here?" And so I get very, very groggy, almost it just drugs me so much that I can't really function. Um, but I didn't take another Benadryl since because I don't want, um, dementia, and so, like, it's like, "Oh, sneeze or dementia." I made your mouth you made my mouth month. Oh my god, Pam, if I had made your mouth, like, ew, don't say stuff like that. Um, but don't feel dazzled at all, Pam. It's just us idiots in here. Ooh, what'd Case say? Case giving out advice, apparently. Have I tried not having allergies? No, because I feel like it makes me special and unique. So I want snow. Could I try child strength antihistamines? That's a really good idea. I also think they have non drowsy Benadryl. Benadryl is my last resort. Um, so I think I genuinely think I'm gonna have to go back to eating mostly carnivore and then add things into my diet to see what is causing this because it's unbearable. It's unbearable. I do take Zyrtec or Claritin. I think right now I'm on a like a Allegra situation. Do I plan these lives? No. I usually I pop on to see what I get. I used to do them every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. East Coast time, but I got thrown off of that by a class I'm taking. Do I take I don't even know what that is, Steph. Stop making things up, please. You got super nauseous earlier this week, and your supervisor recommended Dramamine. Your nausea got better, but you were a worthless zombie all afternoon. It's wild. Um, yeah, I get my kids non-drowsy Dramamine when we were driving in the RV. They get a little hi cats. Um, she as well. She just came out of the closets. What are you doing, baby girl? She's spending a lot of time on the bed because she's really in love with the new green blankets. And so she's on my bed almost all of the time, and it's very cute. And her butt, it looks much better. I had Sonia giving her a like a little churu or whatever the heck the squeezy pouchy things. So she was distracted and I was able to comb through her fur. What is that? What is that you're playing with? Please don't be a roach. What are you playing with? Please don't be a roach. What is it? It's a hair tie. Bye, Rick. What'd Rick say? Uh emergency electrical thing. Have fun playing with electricity. It should be fine. I don't know what that is, Linda. You've suddenly developed allergies. It's terrible. And they're so strong, but I do believe that I watched a Instagram reel, so 1,000% true. You guys take this as the literal gospel truth that perimenopause causes more histamine reactions, like our histamines go a little bit crazier. You've helped me get you through a brain aneurysm and a brain tumor. Pam, are you being serious? Why did you have both? That seems selfish. Have you thought of giving brain complications to others instead of just hoarding it? Ari, hi, baby. Your first cat loved Harry's and had 19 of them in his stomach when we adopted him. Hair ties. Gross. I don't think she's ever eaten one. Your daughter Claire is watching. She works at a pharmacy. She said try a ask a Ami. Ask her if Flonase is what that is. Ask her if Flonase is a Disma spray. Seems like once I got to menopause, my allergies went away. So hang in there. Ooh, got that going for me, Indigo. They found the tumor during the aneurysm surgery. Pam, that's not funny, but it is so funny. Jesus. When you woke up, where you were just like, I'm sorry, fucking what? What was in there? I'm really happy for you. Like, I'm really glad that happened. Tutor, why are you always in here? First of all, why did you change your name to Tutor Hater? It's hilarious to come in to ruin my life. Iowa wants to know if you're okay now. Iowa, it's not about Pam. Focus on me. Thank you. Pam, I had my brain fall apart. Shut up, Pam. Sam, maybe fart. I was supposed to go to UPS today and I forgot. I barely made it to the pharmacy for my husband's meds. Monday, I'll go there Monday. Linda, I've told her about oil of oregano. I am not putting that in my butt. Farman, I know you say all the time, like, try those in your butt, and I'm not going to. Stop recommending that. Harmony Moon Studio, what do you do with what? Oil of oregano in the butt. It's one of the, I drank a swallow it, no butt. I've heard that before. Oh my God. Sorry. So what can we say the real reason Pam was having surgery? You know, I had her third boob removed, right? I don't think it was her third eye. I think Pam wanted a nose job secretly, and they messed up. And so like they went in through her eye, but they thought maybe lobotomy, and they jabbed it too far, and they had to go into her brain to see exactly how much damage there was. And they were like, it's an aneurysm. Oopsie doopsie, right? Garlic in the butt when you have a cold. That sounds like something you would recommend. Hey, welcome, Vicky. We're talking about putting oil of oregano up our butts for allergies. So, I don't know why. I did actually get some stuff in the mail. Do you guys want me to open it? I was going to put it in a different thing. Disma has a steroid and an antihistamine, so it stops reaction. I'll look into it, baby. Mary, I've never tried that, but I've heard some do it. Sure. Okay. I have this one. Beth sneezes out of her butt. Oh, I have an idea. First of all, rude. Second of all, never. Third of all, I think I know what this is. Will I also film a wrap with me? No. Okay, so I did take all of my kids and I filmed and they showed what they got for their siblings. But I did tell all my kids not to watch their videos, but I'm not going to film a wrap with me because Mark's doing the wrapping. So that's amazing for me. And two, it would, I just don't want to be like braggy. It feels uncomfortable. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Are these panties? Please don't send me panties. Oh, I know what this is. Which one of you guys sent this? I think it was Michelle. Okay, this one is a large. This one's got to be for Leroy. I think it's going to fit him. Those are Brett didn't send me this. Brett didn't send me this. Hold on. I'm deeply concerned about wearing my pajama top. And I was like, don't worry, you won't stand up, but I am concerned. Oh, yeah. Brett sent me all of her old panties. Okay, hold on one second. He's right here, too. Come here, nerd. Come here, nerd. I wish I wrap presents as I go. That never happens. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, my goodness. What's this? What's this? Okay. You're doing so good. Holding still. Oh, that's nice. Thanks for not even trying to bend your leg. Oh, he pulled my shirt down. Pervert. He's like, OnlyFans. Is she on here? Is Michelle on here? Mark! He's not. He's playing a video game, so there's no way I can get Mark to pay attention. Poop Beals. Okay, hold on. Babe, come here off camera. He's so handsome. Babe! Someone's walking outside my door. If it's so well. Yes, Steph, I do have a P.O. box. Plus, he's going to get a haircut tomorrow, so he needed this to keep him nice and warm. Also, when I talk, sometimes he can get his nose mostly in my mouth just to see what maybe is in my mouth. Is there something in my mouth? Look at this man.
Very handsome.
It's so handsome. Isn't that so sweet of them? My friend Michelle sent it.
Very handsome.
Very handsome. Will you throw me that box that's next to Kesha, who looks very depressed?
This one?
Mhm. Yes, this one. He's so handsome. Doobeans look stupid though. Okay. A knife. Not a knife, but close enough. Almost a knife. How does this work? Oh, okay. Cats refuse outfits. Potato would absolutely hate it. It would be so funny. What's my P.O. box? It's linked in all of my descriptions and in my stuff. Yeah, you're dead to me, Jill. Why are you unibombering? You getting sick? Got a cough cold? Okay, could you leave? I'm sick of you. Okay, bye. What is this? A rotary cheese grater! Oh, hell yeah! Hell yeah! Who sent me this? Who sent me this? I'm so excited. I wish I had some cheese right now. Actually, I did buy a block of cheese for making a pasta dish that I never made. Oh, I accidentally left this on, so it's just gonna copy what I'm saying. Hi, honey, how are you? I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna show this again in one of my videos to say thank you just to make sure. Why would I buy it myself and then send it to my P.O. box? That sounds silly. Silly business. If you don't have cheese, maybe for a scraper. Well, I could scrape people. Oh, gross. Like for my feet. Hi, Tracy. You found one of those cheese graters in Aldi and you're gonna send it to me? Too late, loser. I already got one. Look at me. I've got a wheelie cheeser. I love Swiss cheese. Cat, don't get me wrong. I love Swiss cheese. I'm just not a sociopath who eats it with tuna. That's what's wrong with you. That's the fundamental problem with you. Among other, I'm sure there's others. Yeah, you're disgusting, cat. It says both sweaters made it, did they? Michelle, hi, Michelle. Did you see me open it? Did you see me open it? Did you? All of the Chalant. Shut up, Lexi. I only got that one and a cheese grater, but I know I have 2 packages waiting for me at the P.O. box. I just forgot to go today. I was going to go, but I got side railed. So I took Sonia first. And then, did you see? Okay, hold on, Michelle. Leroy Jenkins. Did you see Leroy? Leroy Jenkins. Look at Leroy Jenkins, man. Come here. Come here. Oh, Mark's feeding them. There's 0% chance he's coming in here. I heard Kesha yelling at Mark about how she was supposed to get food. And And so, yeah, we're not going to see Leroy. He's so handsome. Thank you. And it fit really well. Later, I realized when you were like, how big is he? And I said 15 pounds and you were worried about that. I think I'm vastly underestimating how much he weighs. It fits him perfectly. Bye, Linda. I love you. Bye. Um, cheese grater, Lexi. I got this. I'm very excited. I also have a card. It's in my purse, but I'm not going to open the card on it just because sometimes that person does not like anyone to know that they like me. It smells like toast. It smells like somebody made toast. Or Sammy is making noodles and she burned it, like boiled over and burnt it a little bit. You're baking. Have fun baking, baby. Oh, Mary, in case you're curious, I did buy all of the ingredients to make pumpkin log. I just need to hand wash everything that's ever been in my kitchen. Mark checked. My dishwasher's broken. Mark looked at it today. It's still like he needs to get it drained, but he thinks it's the pump. We need a new pump. Or I'm having a stroke. And so, but I am going to make them because I do want to do a whole house clean because I have a really good vision of Christmas in a clean house. That sounds really exciting to me. I can't have a stroke. Pam's in here hoarding up all the brain problems. So, she did where, Brett? Oh, okay. I'm gonna, just in case. I'll be right back. My hip hurts. Sure stinks. Is something burning on the stove, honey? Is anything burning on the stove? Okay. It's kind of, it does smell like that though. And yeah, so Mary, I was watching Anti-Chef and he struggles so much with rolling the cake, all cake rolls. And I've never struggled rolling a cake, but now I'm so scared that when I roll my pumpkin log, it's going to be a catastrophe. And like, I'm psyching myself up against it. It's on strike because she only cleans clean plates. I didn't smell smoke. I was driving a school bus. Yeah, Sammy burnt a noodle. It's terrible. It's Father Christmas. You make pumpkin rolls a lot. Do you have any suggestions on how not have powdered sugar fly everywhere when you turn out the cake? I don't use powdered sugar, Nan. I was like, is this cash? You wrote everybody's name. That's so cute, Mary. She wrote Beth, Mark, Sammy, Sonia, Calvin, Kesha, Leroy, Potato, Hot Sauce, and Blackberry. You spelled everybody's names correctly. That's incredible, baby. With much love and snow. I'm getting none of it. Oh, you can't read your own handwriting. Your handwriting's fine, sweetheart. Do you want me to read it in my brain or out loud? You make pumpkin rolls. So I use granulated sugar. I feel like it looks cuter and it doesn't, it's not too aggressively crunchy. Okay. Mary says, hello, dear Beth. Can't read my own handwriting. Should have been a doctor. So I am typing. Just want to take this grateful time of year to thank you. I tripped into your YouTube world for a few reasons, and now I know why. You're an absolutely lovely human being, mother, wife, and friend. Watching you learn and grow from fear and exhaustion into the happy and strong person you are has been such a pleasure. Also, the encouragement to join Discord was for a reason. I have no sisters, all sons that absolutely love to spoil me, but no daughters. I truly feel like I found my long-lost sisters, daughters, and friends. We're all so different, yet the same. So thank you, Beth, for coming into my life when I needed you, creating a new world I didn't know I was missing until I wasn't. Love you, sweet girl. I hated that. That was stupid. Thank you. I love you. Can I post an updated Discord link? Yes. Mary's not a sweetheart. Mary's a butthole. She's incredibly kind and sweet and wonderful. I love you so much. I'm so glad we found each other. I'm very, very grateful. Very grateful. And your handwriting's not bad unless you had somebody else write the names. Oh, that'd be funny. But she's our butthole. And then the little heart hands looks like buttholes. What is that? What is that? Ow. There you guys go. I lost you now. Frick. I hate it when I lose you guys. Where'd you go? Chat, come back. Come back. Oh, I found you. And then need this to go back. Then you guys can go back up here. Mary is so sweet. Thank you, honey. You're trying to make them stop crying by showing them butts. That is cute and hilarious. Oh. Okay. This is the best community with the best leader. Yeah, Brett and Mary love each other. Grow up. Grow up, you two. Okay, so what else shall we talk about, my loves? Christy. We have gone so well. No, we were talking about putting stuff up our butts earlier. So never mind. This is just the standard live stream. Standard live stream. It does look like that though, you guys. What happened? Do I have any Christmas transitions? Traditions? I do, but they're all private stuff. So mind your own damn business. We have we make a big picnicky spread and we put it on my big ottoman. And we all sit and we watch a Christmas movie and gorge ourselves. And I love that so much. And then Mark and I, we send the kids to bed. It's so much harder now that they're up until 1 a.m., absolute jerks. And Mark and I used to drink a glass of wine, but I don't really anymore. And we put on a Christmas movie. And that's what it's called, in case for some reason you guys don't have that overseas. A Christmas movie is the title, and it's amazingly hilarious and good. Very camp. And I love Wallace Bears too. And that's when we would get ready. We'd be on Santa watch to make sure Santa assembled everything that needed to be assembled and made sure that all of the things that he wanted displayed looked just right. And we don't love each other. I don't even like that guy. Oh, wait, they love each other. And then Lori, you're texting. You're not texting, you're typing in here, dum-dum. That was really funny though. Lori's an idiot. And then so that's what we would do. And then we would go to sleep and wake up at 4 a.m. But now we sleep in a lot more and it's glorious. And then just like Kesha. Ooh, Mark was not listening to Kesha. Did you hear that? Tutors the zombie apocalypse. What do you want me to pivot to? Why don't you like this topic? But now, just like all other really good parents, we force our kids to wait until the coffee is brewed and ready for us to drink before they're allowed to open any presents. And when I was a kid, I absolutely hated that. I was like, what is happening? And now as an adult, I'm like, it's absolutely necessary. Kesha is adorable. When is the wedding to Stalin? Are we going to register anywhere? Yes, we are registered at Target and at Bed Bath& and Beyond, it's only online, so we couldn't go into the store and do our registry, which I guess is fine because in order for us to go in store to register, um, which I genuinely would prefer, but that's fine. We would have to switch out all the light bulbs to red because we need like a pinky reddish glow so that people don't think his skin color is really super creepy as shit. And just dim lighting works really well for him, which is it works well for me too. Like dim lighting is solid. And so just all of our stuff is registered online and we will be getting married in the spring. It is Lennon. But sometimes people mix up their dictators and that's fine. Um, and they did get to they were roomies for a long time. And I know you guys knew that. Like they were roommates for so long, even though they didn't like each other. And then Stalin got to be buried, probably because he's not as special as my future husband. So that loser's in the ground. Dictator schmictator. Stalin is more well known out here, I feel like, because he's more recent. We don't like to remember historical things. But yeah, I don't know. And I also still need to do like Christmas cookies. We usually do gingerbread houses. I hate doing gingerbread houses because they fall apart as assembled. Like they're never structurally sound. So I was thinking about decorating cookies with them Christmas Eve, but we'll probably do graham cracker gingerbread houses. Really all it is a way to get more frosting into your body. That's all people want is frosting and candy in their body. So you just have to film cookie baking. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. It's going to take a hot minute to like the Cheez-Its houses. I haven't, but I know I was watching somebody who could be doing it. Mary kill Hitler, Stalin, Lenin. Mary Lenin, of course. Kill Hitler. I bet you I just feel like I bet you it's like quick and lazy with Stalin. Like I just imagine that it's very self-focused because he's a dictator. I don't feel like dictators can be very generous lovers. I feel like if you're selfish enough to be a dictator, like, you know, are you generous in bed? Hitler had a micro penis? You don't know that for sure. I don't think Hitler died. I think Hitler survived. I think he's dead now, obviously. I don't think he died in World War II. I think he went to Argentina with everyone else. Genuinely do. DNA, how did DNA prove a micro penis? Ashley, tell me now how DNA tells people about micro penises. But there's also a dick and dictator. So, okay, so is this a thing? Everybody knows Hitler had a micro penis? There's no way. That's propaganda. That's propaganda. He only had one ball and the other is in Albert Hall. I don't understand your jokes because it's a British joke and they're not very funny. The last gingerbread house I made was condemned by the city. Farm and Chicken didn't know. I love the historical content and why you think it's wrong. There's just like, I need to loop back to why everybody thinks Hitler had a micro penis. And also, he did not die at the end of World War II. There's just no way. And I genuinely like, I'm on board with that one. I really think it's true. Hi, Jan. Oh, your daughter's traveling to Thailand. Yeah, that's crazy. Tell her I said have fun. Maybe not, but it's a conspiracy. So I mean, we have to believe all of it. Because there's a YouTube thumbnail that said that about Hitler and DNA. All right, Patty, are you asking me why I don't think he was killed at the end of I'm sorry, I just ate a lot of food. Can we all pretend like I didn't burp? That's so gross. Um, Recent studies involving DNA analysis suggest that Adolf Hitler may have had a genetic condition called Kalman syndrome, which can potentially result in a micropenis. That's funny. And undescended testicles. That is super funny. So, thumbnails are fact. When we sign up for YouTube, we have to contractually, we have to be like, all of my thumbnails are true. How did I get my cat so fat? I genuinely don't know how hot sauce is so fat and why he won't lose weight. He he does why won't he lose weight? It's like he doesn't so you have to jump over because I put up a gate around the other cat's foods. And so he only has access to his food, even though the collars can open everything. And I know he can't jump over that. Okay, so shut up, millennial. Go back into Costco, stupid. Okay, so here is why Claire said Rasputin had a big junk and it's preserved in a jar. Amy, that was when they finally stopped just passing it around. His peep had been like historically moved about. Like it was a thing that people had for a while. Also, Cromwell's decapitated head was something that people just had. And like, yeah, I have Cromwell's head. Do you want to see it? Like my family keeps it in the library kind of thing. So uh abandoning ship. Bye, cat. We're not gonna talk about micro penises. We're gonna talk about putting stuff up our butt. So here's why I think Hitler did not die, right? So Hitler and genuinely want to say Claire Danes. Why do I think his girlfriend, Ava Brown, so close to Claire Danes? Like that rhymed, right? Um, they did have body doubles. Like they had two people that they knew about that were supposed to be like decoy humans, correct? And they were in the bunker. And people out the decoys were also in the bunker. And nobody actually saw him. And then people didn't really like confirm that it was him except for his very direct allies who for some reason decided to burn him in a ditch. I think that maybe they just killed the body doubles, burned them enough to where they could be like, sure, sure, maybe, right? And then they like burned him in a ditch, but then they just like buried him somewhere. So we don't even, how did they get the DNA? We didn't have access to his corpse. We've never had access to his corpse. I think also, I genuinely think the American government probably helped him escape too. You forgot that Everbron was his longtime lover, first time caller. Um, it was his longtime girlfriend. Like they were together for a really long time. Initially, he fell in love with his niece and was like, giggity, right? And then she was locked in a building somewhere because she kept trying to kill herself. And eventually, I believe she threw herself out of a window and finally stopped being Hitler's girlfriend. Cute. Um, and then Eva Brown, she was like hot for him. She wanted to be his girlfriend. She traveled to go be his girlfriend. And she was kind of scandalous because they weren't married and he wasn't that interested in marrying her. And so she was like privately known within the upper circles, right? Like, so they would be at the camp. I want to say Eagle's Nest, but I think I'm making that up. But he had a really nice retreat in the mountains and they would be there a lot. Sam, I'm getting there. Oh my God, spoilers. So then from bloodstains from a swatch of fabric cut from the sofa in his Berlin bunker, it's not his blood. He did not kill himself. Somebody had a micro penis. That was someone's DNA, but he has living relatives. He has nieces and nephews who are still alive. They better have cross-referenced that DNA. Then, um, so his first in command and his wife were like the golden couple. And she was like, they held up them as a couple because they were married, they had several children. And she was more like the glorious first woman. But Eva had to stay in the background because she was a dirty, dirty, slutty mistress. Eventually, the day before they committed suicide, because like he's like, I guess I'll commit to you now. And she knew about it. And so they got married right beforehand. And then apparently, after people not seeing them directly for a while, and the body doubles were in the bunker with them, apparently they decided to kill themselves and not flee. So, hi Vicky, bye Vicky. It was actually the Canadian government that helped him escape so they could learn about the whole committing atrocities thing. Okay, we brought over so many Nazis. So many Nazis. We brought over a shit ton of them. And we're like, we really think you guys are pretty smart. Come. We brought so many off over and just incorporated them into the government. NASA, Nazis. Probably why they both with an N. They're like NASA Nazi, sure, that feels right. And then a ton of them moved to Argentina. So I bet you we're like, listen, we just want this to stop. Fine. F it. You guys go to Argentina. Just stop letting them have a leader to rally behind. Get a new identity. We don't care anymore. Yeah, bring your wife. Suddenly your wife. Just move, change your name. Don't want to deal with you anymore. Then they have no power to really rally behind. We can totally make Germany buckle underneath us. We'll do the Nuremberg trial. We'll handpick the good ones. We'll make them come over. What's Operation Paperclip? Operation Paperclip um is when they brought over the Nazis and like, right? You think just think of all the scientific advance. Okay, Dee Dee, still to this day, I do believe that a lot of our medical knowledge came from the experiments, and people are like, this sucks and is gross, but also look what we know about the human body. Like did he shave his mustache to hide better? Probably. Um, yeah. So okay, so we're supposed to find it reasonable that we kind of just found these mutilated corpses that kind of look like who they were supposed to be and had some people vouch for it, but were burnt. Why would they burn them? Why would they burn them instead of bury them? Why they do a bad job burning them? That's what I want to say. Why did they do a bad job? If it was Hitler was like, don't let the Allies get my body. First of all, do you think he called us the Allies? Like there was the Axis and the Allies. Do you think they called us the Allies? Probably not, right? But why would he say, if he said, okay, guys, don't let them get my body, why would they just kind of slightly burn and then like very clearly be like, Hitler, Hitler right here. You guys, this is Hitler. If nothing else, they could have just been like, we know that they know how to burn bodies and get rid of them. Feels like that could have happened, but why wouldn't they have like buried him somewhere and then not said where he was? Why wouldn't they have like hidden his corpse somewhere until like it decayed enough and nobody knew, right? Because like it was not, it was more, there's no way. There's no way he didn't live and just move and get away with all of it. It was the Berghoff. Thank you, Kay. Thank you. The Berghoff. Um, okay, so the Eagle's Nest is the Kelston house. I thought Berghoff was the Eagle's Nest, babe. You're just doing your makeup. Why are you doing your makeup so late? Ugh, hussy. What are you about to go do? Knew it. Um. Anyway, that's why I think Hitler survived. Also, the CIA back then, oh, there didn't even exist. But like our government's so sketchy all of the time. I can't trust anything. Um, it's only 7:30. Why are you putting makeup on? What are you doing after? Take it off. Go to bed. Take it off, go to bed. Your grandfather was a captain in the army, brought back a number of the items. You recently became interested in history? I love history. I love history. It's so interesting. Um, and then like I go through like rounds of what I'm really interested in, but just recently I did a whole bunch more stuff about the Nazis. So Hitler's okay. So Hitler had a nephew and his nephew would send money back to his mom who was in Italy because she didn't have enough money. And Hitler like called him in and was like, stop sending money out of the Reich. And nephew was like, it's my mom. And he's like, stop doing it or you're going to be in so much trouble. And so that's when he started thinking, I need to get away. And so at some point, he managed to escape and he went to America. And he fought very hard to join the US Army and was like, I want to fight against my uncle. And so we let him enlist. Like, we did like a massive deep dive into his history and be like, why are you doing this and stuff like that? And we let him enlist in the Navy because fuck him, right? Anyways, but we didn't really let him do anything interesting. We toured him around the country and he would give speeches and like talk to people about how bad his uncle was. And we would be like, Hitler's nephew, whose name is also Hitler because it's a last name, not a first name. And he'd be like, my uncle sucks. And then after the war ended, like he just didn't really have a life here because he didn't really have any way to make money and people didn't really like him because he was Hitler's nephew still. So I believe he had to go back. But good night, Emma. I'm so sorry, honey. But he went back, but also I think all of the nieces and nephews, because he didn't have children allegedly, except for he probably did in Argentina, but he didn't have any. So all of the nieces and nephews, like the one generation down, if I am to understand it correctly, all of them swore to never have kids. So that everybody one generation removed swore that they would not allow Hitler's bloodline to continue at all. And I find that very interesting. Also, also, I do believe that, the nephew and maybe there was somebody else who had a little bit where, like, Hitler was like, "I'm gonna get you," and they're like, "I have leverage," and their leverage was that they were going to expose that Hitler was half Jewish, and so they did get a little bit away. What's in there? What's making crinkle noises? I have a potato in a box. So I find that very interesting. As of 2023, only 5 members of the Hitler family bloodline, all men who bore no children, were still living. Yes, I think one of them died, and they 2 have passed of his direct bloodline. Not maybe prior to those 5, I don't know, but are buried under a different name. One I think is just buried under like a randomized number, and they won't let you know which one it is in a graveyard. They're just like, "Mm-mm, you don't need to know that." Oh, Christy, I wasn't saying bye to you either, stupid. The Spartans and the Caesars are interesting. Um, I wish I was more interested in the Caesars, but I'm not. New last name, Butts. I was in the army with a girl whose last name was Butts, and I felt very bad for her because you have to wear it on your shirt. Mhm. Um, Bye, Christy. You gotta go. You're at mama's. So funny. And she's bringing her friend from the old folks' home. Her friends, her gentleman friends. I love that. Tell them to use protection. Apparently, STDs are rampant in retirement homes. Lots of side chicks in the Caesars, though. I should probably do that. The amount of teasing with the kid with last name Butts would be awful. I feel like kids are just would tease about anything. Like, never mind. Um, your friend and I were always interested in medieval times, especially everyday living. I love that. I find that really interesting. William Patrick Stewart Houston was what Hitler's half. Damn it! It scrolled up. Now you don't get to know anything, Elizabeth. He died the year after you were born in 87. He was 87 or you were born in 87 because I didn't know I was 5 years older than you. Just her best friend. What is the driest period? 2 new baby pups. I want baby pups. Or posted 2 new pictures of. Your sister's father-in-law is Dick Peck. What, Pam? His name is Dick Peck. Pam, Pam, did they leave something behind in your brain? What's happening? What's happening? I do love Tudor history. I'm not 100% on Viking history, but I do find it interesting. It's so unfortunate. History for Sleep are my favorite channels of a time. I am really into Women of History. I think she does a really good job with, or it's her series, but those I find really interesting too. Porco. Oh, thanks. The Younger Dryas was a sudden, roughly 1,300-year return to near glacial conditions that occurred between 12,000 and 11,700 years ago, interrupting the warming trend that ended the last ice age. It's very specific. Also, like, how much is there to know about that? It was so long ago. Nobody's writing anything down. I love Anastasia too from the whatchamacallits. Also, how sad. Did you guys know that the sisters, so Anastasia, what's her last name? What's the last name, guys? Romanov, thank you. So the Romanovs kind of had like they could see the way the wind was blowing. So the daughters had sewn jewels into their bodice, into their clothing so that they could smuggle it better. So when they were shot by the guards, they shockingly did not die very quickly because their bodices helped shield them a little bit. So they needed extra shots. Hmm, fun. You need to learn Scottish history. Can anyone help me? Anybody? Help Sue learn Scottish history. You have Bruce. What's his name? That's what I know. There's a guy named Bruce in Scotland at one point. They had the rough wooing. Cute, right? Hi, Stephen. Anastasia stuck out her tongues to the guards too, right? And then I hate how we're all like, oh, she's lost to time, but she was just buried slightly further from her family, but with her brother. So, like, for a very long time, we knew. I saw a movie that was like, fuck. I saw a YouTube video that was like, why did it take so long for us to find the Titanic? And I was like, because it's hard, like, because it's 2 miles under the ocean and we didn't have submarines during 1914. Sorry. There was a rumor that Anastasia survived. She didn't. They got them all. They killed all of them. What about Mary Queen of Scots? William Wallace. Just don't watch Braveheart. No, I think that's factually correct. It's like basically a shot for shot remake of history. Um, Liam Neeson as Rob Roy. I don't know who Rob Roy is. You can always touch by watching Outliner. Also factually correct. Robert the Bruce. Your great grandfather was a Scot. Mine weren't. Mine were Irish. I find it very interesting that I can trace my ancestors back to Ireland, but only to the person who left Ireland. Like, but what happened before that? Like, he had a dad, and she had parents. Where were their parents from? They're like, nope, spawned, potato famine, boat, America. That's it. I'm a direct descendant of Mary, Queen of Scots. That is incredible. Braveheart is shot for shot of the book of William Wallace. Yes, and the book was written shot for shot of what literally was happening at the time. It was like he was live tweeting the event. Hi, NJDF/T8S. Welcome. Do I ever do? No, fuck. I would never do a DNA test. Are you kidding me? The government with my DNA? No, nor will my kids. But my brother did one. So I know that I can't, it's going to be really hard to commit a murder. I know my brother and my mom have both done one. So I'm kind of pigeonholed and effed there. So I just have to be super good about not leaving DNA evidence. But no, I'm not letting them have extra evidence against me. Thanks. Usually my name is Aunt Dutch. It changed. It's like, I don't know, it's being fussy, but hi, Aunt Dutch. Where's she at? Not even just our government, right? No, thank you. You had a burger mister in my family in Australia? Pam, I'm genuinely concerned about what's happening with you and the crazy names that you're just throwing out there. Um, but no, I don't need to I know the names. I know this person's dad's name was this, was named this, was named this, was named this, was named this. Irish. Um, Burgermeister. You've done the genealogy of over 5,000 relatives. That's incredible, Sue. Stamburger. Bunch of Germans in here, I tell you what. Um, and we were trying to do a little bit more on Mark's side of the family, but it was a little bit harder. My grandma, not my grandma, I'm so sorry. My great aunt did our family history. Did I tell you guys this? She did it a few years ago and gave us, wait. I'm back. Okay. Oh, Baumgartner. I love him. His name is Baumgartner, though. So she did a packet of our family history and she did it for each kid. So this one's Sammy's. And so it'll say who their great, 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 great greats were. But she did one for my grandma's side and one for my grandpa's side. And hold on. So I have a thing of my Rutledge family, like the name that I would go really back far on my grandmother's side. It goes from my great 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 grandfather from 1771. He lived from 1771 to 1843. Um and then it just goes down and it's crazy because like um you just see these dates and you're just like, "Holy crap, that's incredible." Like knowing all the way back to 1771 who that was, right? You recently heard that the pickle in the tree tradition isn't real and we made it to sell overstock merch. That's sad. It's a tradition now. Is my neck okay? Shut up. You're such a jerk. How are you, Mac? And then I have my great great, is it the same amount of greats? Nope, less greats. But from 1821, from that side of my family. Oh, have fun processing your video. I got lazy and I did a live because I didn't feel like editing. But it's crazy to know everybody that we had back here. I don't know. It's an American German tradition. Ooh, I like that. But so I had a billion years long great grandpa, John, was an Irish lad born in 1821 in Tipperary, Ireland. And then, not long after, a beautiful Irish lass, Mary, was born in 1825 at County Cork, Ireland. That's crazy. And they fell in love and got married. They had a good life in Ireland, but when they were in their early 20s, there was a horrible potato famine that swept through Ireland from 1845 to 1849, and it drastically changed how the people in Ireland lived. And so they boarded a ship and came to America and they settled in their new country. They bought a farm in an Irish settlement and they actually still live there. I could go to there. It's in Illinois. Um, and I could go back there and see ancestors who weren't in my particular branch of the tree. And I just think that's really, really cute. And so it's little snippets of everybody in our family. But here's it's not hilarious, it's terrible. So My grandpa, great, great grandpa, I think, my grandpa's grandpa. My grandpa's grandpa. I know because I'm wearing my pajamas, and so I'm wearing my pajamas. Okay, so this was interesting because she was reading out loud to our children a few years ago, and she got to this history, and we were like, "What is she going to say?" But so my grandpa's grandpa worked at the Illinois Central Railroad for 50 years, and so did his brother Mike. That's interesting. And then they got married and they had a daughter, Loretta. Okay, so then Loretta was born, and we knew this for a while. Good night. Is this so boring, you guys? Should I not tell you this? I'm sorry. Um, so Loretta, I knew this for a long time ago. You didn't derail me. Um, my my grandpa joined the Navy, right? When he was 18, and he joined under his name. And when he went and tried to enlist, they're like, "That's not your name. You don't exist." And he's like, "What are you talking about? That is totally my name, and I clearly exist." And then he like went to his parents and was like, "They say that's not my name and that I don't exist." And they're like, "Oh, it's not your name, but you kind of exist, but you're not our son." Funny. Also, your brother is not your brother. That's your uncle. We're your grandparents. Your mom, oops, was murdered by her husband during the Great Depression, and we adopted you, and we just didn't think it would come up. They probably thought it was come up, and that's how he found out that that had happened. They were watching him when he was 3, and a lot of people did this in the Great Depression, but my great grandpa was like, "We're not gonna make it. I can't provide for you, so I just will not deal with it." And so we were all like, so she's going through this history, right? And she gets to Loretta. We were just like, what is she going to say? What is she going to say? So then she wrote, Loretta was known to be very pretty, petite, and popular. As a teen, she loved to dance and roller skate. She often worked at the roller skating rink, teaching others how to skate. She married James, who was the biological father of Loretta's only child, a son. A tragic accident ended Loretta's young life at the age of 21 in 1935 when my grandpa was only 2. Okay, so he wasn't 3, he was 2. Um, your Graham switched to husbands with another woman. That is so weird, Harmony. And so like that was incredibly interesting to me. And so he eventually had his name legally changed to be what he had always grown up with, and he joined the Navy and met my grandma. And right? And then I was born. And so we found that to be really, really interesting. So our whole family, our lore is that we come from the poors, right? We just come from poor. My dad grew up so poor and was basically kicked out of his house at 15. Also, kind of a rough and tumble guy. Um, but he, by all accounts, he should have died, right? And just like died in a ditch, drunk, motorcycle accident. Um, didn't graduate high school, didn't attend most of high school, and then like built himself up. And so, but they were just like, didn't have much money at all. Um, and their parents didn't seem to have a lot of money. So we just genuinely thought we came from poor. We were always like gutter urchins forever until we weren't. That is not true, my friends. Let me read this part. Uh I gotta find it. Trust me, it's worth the buildup. It must have been earlier. There's no way it could be this far down in the history. That'd be crazy. Hmm. I trust me, the reveal is gonna be worth it probably. I promise. Where is it? No. 1820 seems a little bit late for that, right? Maybe I have the wrong paperwork. Okay, so in here in this paperwork somewhere that my aunt refused to read. Like she didn't read this part to us, which was weird. Um I found it. Shut up. I found it. Okay. Okay. So we had some money, right? We had money, but times got tough. That's hard for us, right? So we had a massive debt to pay as a family. And back in the day, when you do that, like you don't really have credit, you don't have access to credit lines so much. So we had to sell a lot of our stuff, right? Why did we have that? Oh, it's because I guess we had malaria. Now that was a wild guess, but we had doctor visits and medicine that we had to pay for. Hard times, right? It was $23. Damn. Get bent in 1844. Yikes. I hope that timing's wrong. But, anyways, here are the list of things sold. Here's the list of the things we sold and what made us in the pores. Ready? Farm equipment, wagons, oxen, horses, cows, hogs, sheep, and geese. Now, geese were pricey as shit. 25 of those geese, we got $10.25. That's like half the bill right there, right? That's amazing. So we got rid of those. Love that, right? We sold seed cotton for $300. We had a cotton gin. I bet you can't see where this is going. And it sold for $140. But what got us the most money, it's the fucking worst. The look on everybody's face when we read this together, the sheer shock when we all looked up, we were like, I'm so sorry. What did we sell? It was our slaves. Yep, we put them up. They were appraised at $3,900, 12 slaves, $3,900. But however, when they were sold, they only brought in 4,695. So, $795 more than they were appraised at. That's nice. All except two, who were our favorites apparently, um, were bought by the children of okay, I guess we just sold them to our kids, like, we let it go down, but, like, we kept them, and so, um, one of them is called Black Anthony, and the amount of time I have spent trying to find loaded cotton gin and 12 slaves, crazy, and 25 geese. The amount of time I've tried so hard to find Black Anthony in East Texas, and I know the price that he was paid for, and they sold for more, and the appraisers named him Negro Boy Anthony, and I know the county, I know the name, and I desperately want to find so much more about it. "Oh, my family sucks." No, it's fine. It was 200 years ago. Not my fault. And I want to find so much more about it. My aunt found this out. She typed all of this up and, like, they've been compiling all of this history and stuff like that. And I just want to find out so much more about that. I find it so incredibly fascinating, and I just wish I knew more about it. Um, it's insane to me. And it was in Texas. Yeah. This side of my family was very Texas oriented, and I didn't know that. Also, so we must have been rich because also I knew that maybe it's just made up because it's the same last name, but I believe that Thomas Jefferson's nope. That's not it. Not even close. Abraham Lincoln's second wife is rumored to have been related to that side of the family. These things, and I tried looking up in the local paper, but it's so the 1800s. And it feels like it would be so wildly undocumented because I bet you, what if we sold Anthony, but the next owners were like, I don't like that name. But it feels like something that you don't genuinely wouldn't like have continuity with. I feel like that seems like at some point you could get a really shitty person who's like, hate the name Anthony. Like, what if you had a previous slave Anthony and you're like, oh, I really like that slave. I'm going to name you something different though. Like, I feel like it'd be so hard to get those records. How do they spend 4K from selling the people who were enslaved? How do they get 4? I don't understand, Ari. I don't know. Because it mentions a lot of medical debt, right? That's so much money, though. That's a lot of money for back in the day. Yes, so the family history of, like, all the name changes, like, there's just genuinely no way of really getting it. Library of Congress. That would be a fun adventure. You know what it looks like? It looks like okay, it looks like the ancestors, not the slaves, they made it, died, and they're trying to settle the estate. Like, there must have been a lot on the estate. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on one second. One of my ancestors came forward and said that they were too drunk at a previous meeting at the church. That's funny. And holds true for all of my family. The drinking is a big portion of my life. I think, like, they tried to join a church, but one of them was way too drunk and the church wouldn't let 'em. Sorry. Um, but yeah, it looks like they died, and I think they were trying to settle estates and stuff like that, and then it went to the kids and all of that stuff. It's, like, really interesting to me. It's so crazy to me because the other thing is that when you're growing up all the time, when you're growing up, you're like, "Oh, I never would have had slaves. Like, we don't come from those people. That wouldn't be my stock." I also remember when I was young being like, "Oh, it would be so uncomfortable to be German," right? One day my ancestors will read about my predatory RV loan. So funny. I will try the local census. Um, so the thing is that, like, I always thought, like, it'd be so embarrassing to be German, right? And, like, how would that feel and stuff like that? And then I married into a German family, talking to Mark's grandma when she's talking about Hitler. Like, it's so interesting to me because then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, you were a teen, you were so young, living in a wild world. And so then, like, to look back and be like, oh, I do come from people who would be like that. That's wild to me. It's so wild having long links on one side to the deep south, and then long links from, like, starving to death in Ireland and came over, and then way down the line, those 2 got married. It's crazy to me. It's so interesting to me. And I love knowing all of it. I love knowing all of my family history. I think it's incredible. And I think it'd be really stupid to, like, pretend like it wasn't happening and pretend like, "Oh, we don't talk about that." Like, okay, you're a German teacher at high school, have been forced into Hitler Youth. Because okay, so here's the thing though, is like the Germans were starving to death and just trying to freaking survive, and inflation was insane, and um people would get their paycheck, right? You'd get paid daily. At one point they were paid daily. And the wives would run and grab the paycheck from they grab the money from their husband at lunch and sprint to buy any tangible good that they possibly could, because by that evening, it would be way more inflated, and they started pinning prices to, like, okay, to the American dollar. So this loaf of bread would be 2 American dollars. All right. At this exact moment, 2 American dollars is 13 million British, whatever the hell, not British, sorry, German Nazi pennies, and well, pre-Nazi pennies. And so, like, there was just no way. There was no way to buy things or get food. And so she's living like that. And I remember one time she looked at me, we were saying things, and she was talking about how hungry she was and how there wasn't food. And then she referenced the fact that once he came into power, there was food. And I was like, I can see how, I'm not even a child in this scenario. Let's say I am me at 43. I would have had babies earlier because it's back in the day. Let's say I am a 30-year-old mom. My kids are hungry, and I've been meeting Mark at the factory every day at noon and sprinting and trying to buy anything I possibly could, especially food that could possibly feed my kids, or we could have something that maintained money. And I'm scared. And then a whole bunch of stuff is happening that doesn't directly affect me because I'm not Jewish, I'm German. And my kids are getting fed. I feel like there's a ways before knowing what true tragedy is happening, right? And just being like, we're just going to get them out of our neighborhoods. If you said, if we get these people out of our neighborhoods, your kids would have regular access to food, I'd be like, probably. And so it's so interesting to me to, like, especially, we can't pretend like history, not only did it not happen, but not see why it happened from their side too. Because we can't see why it happened from their side too, then we run the risk of letting it happen to us, right? If I can't see from their side where I'm like, I probably would have been like, you know what? He makes a lot of sense. Maybe we should do this. You run the risk. So I just find it very fascinating. But when I was younger, I would never be able to see it from anybody else's point of view. I was like, the fact that early on any family would be like, yeah, my kids could join, Hitler's youth. Like the fact that they didn't rise up and fight against it and things like that. Like, you're not looking at it correctly. To be like, I would never have come from families who have slaves. So it's like, oh, okay, well, all other countries had it and it came over. And if you grew up with it and everybody had it, I feel like it would be normalized. So let's look at it from their point of view, because we're doing it now. We're doing it now. We just pretend we're not. Um, and it's really scary that we're pretending we're not doing it, right? Um, I feel like when people are like, if we don't have any illegal immigrants, who are going to pick the crops? And I'm like, who's going to pick the cotton? Right? Like, I'm just like, if we don't see it where we're like, oh, okay, I think we're doing something wrong here. Let's fix this. It's crazy to me. So I find it so fast. I love the idea that I could go back and look at my family and be like, okay, fine. So sure, we had all of this stuff. And on my great grandma, great great size, we can see it. And that they had slaves, and I'm like, okay, so we were rich. We were rich. We were 12 slaves rich, right? All of this to the poorest people, to the people who couldn't really afford food. Like, they were so poor. What happened in between there? I would love to know that information too. Like the Vanderbilts, famous, most wealthy, none of them are millionaires now, except I believe one. But none of them have their family wealth. There's like one self-made millionaire, and that is the anchor who I can't remember, Cooper or something like that. Your mom's side came from the deep south too. It's crazy. Your dad was a veteran in World War II, and your uncle was a POW. Wow, for 2.5 years in German war camps. It was a horrible time in history. My step grandpa he went and liberated one of the concentration camps and never spoke of it to me. I knew he had. And he said, he did say one thing. I tried to interview him about it for a class project. And he said They were so grateful, they wanted to embrace him, but he was so freaked out by them because they smelled bad, they were disease-ridden, they were yucky to look at, like, visually terrifying and terrible to look at. He's like, "I didn't wanna hug any of them." They were so plus, you have to like, could you imagine the shock where you're like they didn't know. They didn't know, they just went there, like, maybe they knew, but people didn't really know now. But how would you process something like that? Like, we've seen those images since childhood. Could you imagine going there? Yes, the indentured servants, which is wild to me. But, like, could you imagine hearing a rumor? You're fighting in World War II, and you hear a rumor that, like, dude, they were locking up and killing all of the Jews. And you're like, wow, that's really interesting. And then you go and you see it. Anderson Cooper, thank you, Marie. You're amazing. And then you go see it. Like, there's no way you could have braced yourself for that. And he felt so guilty for not wanting to hug these prisoners. But, like, also, they had a ton of typhus. That's crazy. Also, did you guys know Anne Frank, Diary of Anne Frank, she died from typhus? And they actually knew that. Her and her sister did. I didn't think they ever knew what happened to her. I thought she was pulled from the attic and then lost to history. But no, we actually know where she went. She was with her sister and had reported things that how she died. From Low County, South Carolina. That's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. All of that stuff is so interesting to me. And I can never be the kind of person who just buries their head and pretends like it didn't exist and we shouldn't think about it. I find it all so interesting. Um, you had family fleeing was one was returned because they were blind. That's crazy. Also the fleeing of it all. Like if you think of the Ukraine, right? The Russia-Ukraine war, the fleeing of your home, like trying to make the decision whether or not you should, because it has to feel so surreal, right? Even though it's literally heavy, it's gotta feel so surreal where you're like, wait, 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 hold on. Are we really gonna make the choice to run from our home? That has to be such a hard choice to make. Another thing that people talk about all the time, like, "Why didn't the Jews flee earlier?" That's gotta be such a surreal thought to have, like, we should re I've never been to 1K, I do think when Calvin's 17, I think we'll go, because I think he'll be old enough. I need the girls to be I don't know if they're too fragile to go, like, in their hearts. Um, yeah, it is, like I do want them to go, I want them to see and know, because it's so easy. Okay, here's the other thing. Shut up. Here's the other thing. I could have been so easily. So easily. I think it would take me maybe one day to become like a full Nazi. I mean, goose stepping, shooting the Jews, Nazi. Okay, maybe a week, right? I could turn so fast. And everybody who's horrified by that statement, you would turn so fast too. You just would. People don't get it, but you would. It's so fast. You have no, you would be so fast because when I was deployed, I knew that everybody I saw, the Iraqis that I saw, were also humans with lives and families. But you can't care about them at the same level. Whenever I tell people this, they find it so horrible, but you can't. Your brain won't do it. If you have an enemy, especially one that dresses like all the other goods, like there's right? If you have an enemy, your brain just like drops them down one level. Everybody has the capacity to do this because I am a really good person and I have the capacity to do this. I could very quickly, if you showed me a way that it was my life, my team's life, like the we versus them, if you get me a we and the stakes are high enough, the thems, boop, down one level, don't care. It's crazy. What a weird thing to talk about. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have to fix this. There we go. Um, it's in the Czech Republic. That's really interesting too. Because we'll go through all of that stuff, and that's what it is. It's a protective mechanism, but it's a survival mechanism, and everybody has that. I'm only seeing mods chat. Did I ruin everybody's lives? I'm so sorry, you guys. Um, we went from sticking things up to our butt to I could probably do a genocide real fast. Didn't think that was gonna happen today. But we all have it. I just think so many people don't think they have it, and that's what's gonna get you. Thank you, guys. I'm so sorry. You went to that's crazy, Steven. Also, I didn't know you were stationed in Europe. Go clean after rabbits. I thought you were gonna go clean the rabbits. I was like, okay, hurry, have fun with that. Yeah. So, anyways, I want more people to know that. That's like my big takeaway is I want so many people to know how quickly they would do it, and that people are just like, sorry. I thank you guys for saying that you're still there. Um, and the culture is so different. That's another if, like, I don't feel the similarity, that's one huge thing, but I think you could do it even with very similar cultures. There has to be something distinct. So, I'm sure that's why slavery was so easy. You had to have something distinct. I bet indentured servants were easy because their accents were different, their cultures were a little bit weird. So, you get them going like that. That's really crazy, you guys. Um, we all say it's our mama bear, same thing. Your First Nations and your grandfather and my father had to live through the torture of what they call Spanish school. It was run by nuns and priests who were racist against natives. That is such a huge thing too. Um, I bet you would be super easy because you weren't speaking the language. Stupid. Didn't love Christ. Also stupid. And there's like especially back then, even further back, like the Aztecs, like when the Spaniards came in, it didn't matter if you died because the only way to, like, really redeem you like, that's why they burned heretics at the stake because it was the only way to save their soul. So, if you weren't going to convert to Catholicism, the one true, right? Sorry, Zeno. Scientology, the one true, but you go over to Catholicism, if you get killed in the act, I'm still saving you. So, either way, I either you join me or you die and I save you secretly postmortem, like, you know? Um Oh, I didn't know that, Stephen. That's so interesting. In Sicily, I never got to go to Sicily. Um, you're late joining? Oh, it got weird. Sorry. Um, yeah, I don't know. These are the things I think about. I think about things like this all of the time, and I get really fascinated, and I want to know why. Like, why? Okay, how about this? FB agent talked about it's required you visit before you graduate. There's a dusty. Wait, okay. Brett, I don't know what you're talking about. And FB agent talked about it's a required visit before you graduate, but also many of his colleagues didn't seem to take that with them. What's a required visit? Guantanamo? Scrolling up to see, Brett. I don't what place, Brett? I don't see. Um, oh, where were they though? Where were they that visiting Auschwitz was a required visit before you graduate? I feel like it's so important. Important. Um, but another thing, I don't believe that's true. I don't know that I've met any FBI guy who's visited there or mentioned that part. That's why we have to constantly keep meeting and interacting with people as individuals. I agree, Sam, 100%. Bye, Meg. Love you. Say hi to Sully. Because I think Meg is Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. Um, but I don't know if that's true. I'll ask the next time I see one, I'll ask them. Um, and yeah, I do see them often. So I don't know. Okay, so here's one thing I was wondering is I'm kind of thinking about the female guards that they had because a lot of them it was really interesting to me. The female guards, the ones that were particularly terrible, were they always terrible or did they like sink further and further into it? Oh, I hate that for you, Dee Dee. How weird. You saw the Holocaust Museum and the Anne Frank House in Amsterdam too. I heard because you can't film in the Anne Frank House that it's like much adjusted. Is it like redone? Is it? Or does it look similar to where you would be like, I can see it now? I'm sorry I look naked, you guys. I just don't want to sit up too far because it's not the thickest of materials. Like, so I definitely want to sit up. Dana, we talked about the Holocaust a little bit and how I would be pretty capable of committing one. Lane dead to me, Lynn. Um, I just wanted to be in my jammies. They're so comfortable. I love them so much. They bring joy. Um, it's become more touristy than it was. I feel like that's the way a lot of things go. And I'm half and half with it. Bye, Marcy. Half I'm like, yes, make it tourist trap because it's important to financially keep it up. Like I want it to still remain. Like not really the same, but Paul Revere's house, super touristy, but paying to tour his house is what keeps the house there and function like and repaired. But also I don't love the idea of changing anything because like gutting something and making it more of a museum-y or but you have to make it more functional. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. But I also love touristy things because like they're really Steven, that's really I don't really excited about that. Also, who sold them out? I need to know. Hi, Debbie. Thank you. Um, anyways, all of that's so interesting. And you know what else I hate? You know what else I hate? Okay, here's another thing that I hate. Who in here was First Nations? Were you talking about it? The children taken from families and brought to these schools where they were treated poorly, starved. Yes, and of course, lots of history behind it. Yeah, 100%. You want to keep the jammy joy to yourself. I just think that if you guys saw further down, it would violate terms of service and guidelines, community guidelines. Okay, thanks, Mary. So, Betty, here's another thing I super hate about specifically. I don't know if First Nations, because First Nations is Canadian Native Americans, from what I understand, and then we call ours Native Americans. Used to be Indians, and then ooh, what are the okay? Anybody here from the south, down south, like Mexico? Anything else? What do they call theirs? I bet Mexico would just call them Mexicans because they had the Aztecs and the Mayans. Those are gone. There's so much sad history in the world. Hi, Debbie. Um, and it's crazy because if you go, so many people have very tragic backstories. Anna, I got it. Thank you for my cheese grater. Now back to the Holocaust. um, so here's the thing, it's like, I wish we had more American American history because I consistently forget that Canada exists in my head. Um, Aboriginal. No, the Aborigines. Oh, I'm sorry, Amy. I was yelling at you. I was like, you idiot. That's in Australia. And that's in Australia, is what you were talking about. Humans are the best. We just do shitty things sometimes, but we do amazing things most of the time. Was saved from demolition by a foundation after the war and opened it as a museum to teach tolerance and historical truth. I love that, Kay. I'm so freaking excited too, Anna. I am so excited because I have a lot of cheese to shred for an upcoming meal. Ideal. I wish I knew more about the American, Native American history. Like, oh, I learned something so interesting. Shut up. I learned something interesting about Native Americans. Are you guys ready? Puebloans? Is that real? Is that real or are you making me say slanders? Okay. So I was like, we we didn't kill most of the Native Americans, right? By war, right? We did not kill most of the Native Americans by war. By the time we got there and we were Stephen, no, you cannot. By the time we got there, almost all the Native Americans were dead. 90% of Native Americans were dead, right? I think that's about what we approximate. Like when we get to um when we get to colonizing, like when we get to founding Jamestown and all those things, when the pilgrims came over, we were like, is this like plowed fields? Are these corns planted in a row? That's weird. Um, why does it look like villages should have been here? Why is the forest more cleared out and walkable than it should be? It wasn't overgrown, right? So, um, we were where did they go? But we had killed them off. Here's why. Because you would think when we came over, we brought all of our diseases, right? And it was just a few interactions and we got them with disease like crazy. Why didn't the Native Americans give us the diseases and we died from it? Why? Here's why. In Europe, um, Asia, Africa. Janice, you didn't miss anything at all. I would not worry about what happened before. A lot, almost all. I would say most. In North America, there were no livestock, no large livestock that they lived with, right? We brought over horses. They weren't using buffalo, like they weren't tending their buffalo herd, right? Buffalo were wild. They killed the buffalo and ate the buffalo. They killed the deer, ate the deer, but they didn't have like husbandry, like they didn't have work animals, right? They weren't like, let's chain up the buffalo and have them plow our field for us, right? They didn't have that. So they weren't living with their animals like we did. We lived with our horses. We were so close contact with our pigs. Pretty sure we also brought pigs over. Um, and then they just fucked everything up. We had our cows that we were milking. So we were cuddled up with our udders, milking them. And we had all of those transitioning, the jump the species diseases from way back in the day because they didn't spend so much time with their animals like we did. They didn't have herds. They weren't tending to their animals. They weren't exposed to the same level of jumping species illnesses that we were. So they didn't have anything new to give us. There wasn't a great land whale. I don't know. Picture something, right? They didn't have an animal that we didn't have in Europe, Ireland, if you're curious, Ireland, um, that they had more of an be careful, intimate relationship with it. They were in such close proximity that they had different diseases hop from animal to person that we were never exposed to. Because remember, we're trading with Asia, we're getting their gross monkey diseases, we're trading with Africa, we've gotten giraffe spots, probably. Like all of this is touching, right? But we went over there and we gave them our disgusting cow disease and all that stuff. That's why we wiped them out with disease that they did not have exposure to, but they didn't have any diseases to give us to wipe us out. So freaking interesting to me. That's weird. Okay. And Mets are saying rude things. Where in Iowa? She's in Iowa City, Iowa. Where the Iowans. No, we brought over horses, Nan. We taught them to ride the horses. They didn't use horses. We taught them that, but there were horses. Hi, Laura. I am going to be mean to you. Hey, everybody tell Laura she's an idiot because she came in here and missed me a blessed Christmas. Wish me a blessed Christmas. Laura, don't be worried. I'm, of course, going to be mean to you. I'm very happy you said hi. I dropped that. History party. Kay says Scandinavia and then shows a butthole. Same, horses came with the Spanish. Is that true? Is that how they got here? Horses were brought from the old world. See? Idiot, Beth is mean. So, like, which I find really here's something else that's interesting. Everybody shut up. Okay, so Europe is squatty. Admit it, you're squatty as shit, right? You guys are squatty. They didn't, Kim. We brought the horses and taught them how to ride them. It's very weird. Um, you're squatty. And I'm not making it up as I go. I read it somewhere at some point, and the rest I filled in with my own facts. It's amazing. Europeans introduced horses in the 1400s. Weird, right? So, you guys are basically in the same general ecosystem. You know, you have the same weather mostly. Like Spain sure is hot as balls, and in England's a little bit cold. But when you brought your seed and planted it in the ground, it did basically as well. Whereas when we have the swamp bed of Georgia, right, to the blistering cold northern plains of North Dakota to New Mexico, which is, first of all, you have mountains, and that confuses me, but also deserts. So we're broad, America is. And so it was harder to pass tips and tricks and culture things where we're like, this is how you do this, and concentrate people to build massive empires because what worked in one part of America didn't necessarily work with the other part. So it was harder for them to impart things. And also they were walking everywhere, and that's exhausting, right? Hi, Jamie. Um, ew, Iowa, stop talking to Patrick Ryan. So bye, Sue. Love you. Um, yeah, we're talking a lot, Jamie. Um, And so I found that interesting of why there wasn't like such massive concentrations that we're super familiar with of people because the and the technology didn't erupt like it did because the vast differences of space and because everything was like we're more longitude. We have more space to go north and south for like I did not explain that well. But it matters. You guys are squatty and we're tall. Squatty squat squats. I don't know. I found that interesting. No big deal. Wait, then why is China like China is? Kind of feel like that put that theory down because China's vast. Patrick's in Idaho. Um, does anybody else think Idaho right after you hear the word Idaho? At all? It's all about the latitude. You're such a dork. Guns, germs, and steel. That's what I thought. That's what you're talking about. You read that, boo. I feel like I did. China's a different story. I mean, China's got some old ass history doing lots of things. Um, China leads hard into traditions, not the best ones. I heard a theory that China has less than a billion people. That mathematically speaking, they could not have more than a billion people at all. Um, so and like somebody just did the math with it, but like I don't remember. It had something to do with in 1960, they had like 500 million or something crazy like that. And then from then to here, each woman would have had to have averaged 5.5 births to get them to the number that they are saying that they had. No, because Mao Zedong killed so many millions and millions and millions of people died during the Great Leap Forward. Millions and millions of people and starved to death. And they lost a lot of progress through that. No big deal. He's still pretty amazing. Also, sorry, China. All hail Mao Zedong. He was the greatest leader, the great leader. But then they instituted the one child policy. So there's no way that every woman was averaging 5.5 births. So, okay, they were saying something like way more than that, I thought. But yeah, that's crazy. So they have like 500 million Chinese people. There's so many topics. It has been wildly varied in here. Isn't most Chinese land less accessible? Steppes and high desert and mountains. Lots of flooding in areas too. The flooding, no, it's not like there are more mountains and stuff like that. The flooding is more poorly managed. It's like why we have so many wildfires. It's just bad management. Um, but they have most of their places are incredibly rural and hard to access, and that's not easy. It's been almost 2 hours. Oh my Jesus. Um, have we covered panties yet? We haven't just yet. I did fear that Brett sent me panties. Oregano in her butts, Lenin, famine, World War II, family history, to include the fact that my family owned slaves and got a good bargain on them. Um, Slight murder suicide in my family history as well. We touched upon that. No big deal. None of this. YouTube is not going to let this be monetized. I think I'm going to get a guideline strike. Oh no, I'm going to get a guideline strike. Panties. Sometimes when I cough, I throw out my back, but that's not a big deal. So it was just a weird one. I sent you my panties, Brett. What else should we talk about real quick? Such a weird life. I'm really sorry, you guys. I feel very anxious and weird that I explained how easily I could do a genocide. Then I justified the Nazis. Uncomfortable. Talked about how we own slaves. Like, this is not my best look at all. But it is unfortunate. Sorry. Sorry, guys. What's your amazing news, Jill? Shut up. Scroll back up. Oh, everybody shut up. You suck. Been off a while because your daughter got her kidney transplant. Wait, my wild people, are you like, what was your previous name? Was it transplant? What was your name? It was like, I need a transplant or give a transplant to somebody. I remember that, but that's not your name, right? Your name is not my wild people. Transplant warrior. Don't change your name, stupid. Okay, so it went well. She got it. How did that go? I'm so excited for you. I can't believe she got one. Can you tell me about it at all? Oh, I've got goosebumps. I'm so excited that she got it. I genuinely prayed. Amy, we had a victim of a serial killer, not the serial killer herself. I wrote that weird. She was murdered by lonely in your family. Um, I've never been more grateful to not have you in my chat. I am so happy you weren't here. I am so glad she got it. That is incredible. What a great Christmas. What a great Halloween. And then Thanksgiving and now Christmas and then a great New Year's. You're going to have a lot of greats. It's not a Christmas miracle, stupid. It happened before Halloween. Stop jumping holidays. It was a Halloween miracle. Thanks, Jack Skeleton. Never gets enough credit. I'm going to have such anxiety after this. I'm going to really ruminate and worry about the things that we talked about. Wow, that is crazy, Jamie. I also wonder if I would have had a serial killer in my family. Like, that makes sense. Oh, what you missed is that transplant warrior changed her name to be a dick, but her daughter got her kidney. And then she said it was a Christmas miracle, but it happened before Halloween. So we're mad. It was the Great Pumpkin Pam. Oh, I wish I was that funny. I wish I had said that first. Now I'm mad. It happened a long time ago and your family never talked about it. You found out organically while doing ancestry research, right? Like, my family never talked about the murder suicide. They were just like, didn't happen. It was like they were really ashamed. And I was like, you guys, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. It doesn't mean like it passed down through our DNA. First of all, yeah. So it wouldn't have passed down through our DNA. My grandpa turned out not to murder it. Well, we don't know for sure. Right? Because like 23andMe didn't exist, but maybe we'll figure out that he is like the Zodiac killer. But it doesn't pass down just because somebody did something bad in your family history. Like the Hitlers. They could have had kids that weren't serial killers. They would have been teased mercilessly. They would have had miserable lives, to be honest, but highly unlikely to go perform another mass genocide, right? Is psychopathy genetic? I don't know the answer to that. Don't steal my panties, gross. Bye, Sam. Oh, I thought you were saying goodbye. Sorry. Welcome, Sam. So glad you're here. It was the greatest life that ever lived. Pam's lobotomy. Pam did get a lobotomy, you guys. It's probably why she got funny. She just wanted a nose job. Is psychopathy genetic? Gonna ask AI. Is Hey, since I'm not gonna get any cash from this live at all and maybe never get any money from YouTube ever again, how sad is the Rob Reiner, the sons with clear psychopathy? How sad is that? Oh, yeah, there's a significant genetic component. Well, now I have my defense for when I murder Mark. I didn't mean to. It was my great 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 grandpa. He said I had to. Um, yeah. It's so sad and tragic, and so many people are capitalizing off of it. I've seen so many breakdown videos of like the body language that showed he was clearly going to stab his parents to death, or all the clues and why do his eyes look like that and things like that. And you're just like, so many pennies, Lexi. YouTube's just going to take it away. It's going to be mad at me. YouTube's going to be so mad at me, Lexi. I love all my pennies from you. Thank you. Stupid. It doesn't matter to you. You watch with ad blocker anyways. Iowa, that's too political, even though I talked about Hitler a lot. I just don't understand like why so many people are like focused on like being like, I could tell the son was going to do it. Like maybe, but no. Pennies won't exist much longer. Well, I'll have all of Lexi, so I don't give a shit. Lexi can, that's for future Lexi to worry about. She'll have to send me nickels. Did they already quit making pennies? That weirds me out, but also makes sense. Wait, do Canadians have a 2 penny or do they have a half penny coin? What do you have? Also, you're stupid. But I can't say that. Is Leroy in here? Leroy doesn't know. He doesn't know that he's Canadian. We haven't told him yet. We're waiting to not break it to him ever. There's enough pennies out there in circulation that they'll be around throughout our lifetime. You think, Lynn, I'm going to live for 300 years. I never make puns intentionally, Dee Dee. Puns are for losers. You haven't had pennies in Canada for a few years? Well, fucking Canada. I want to go to Canada. I'm so scared that they're not going to let me in. Do you think they would know? Do you think Canada knows my YouTube, like the Mounties? Do you think they know? Am I on a list? Your money is plastic. British money is weird feeling. Also, why make it one normal uniform size, stupids? That makes me mad. Also, pennies are gross. Also, Sammy steals my money, but that's different. They know. I know they know. They don't know we know they know we know. Yeah, well, blind people should have seeing eye dogs to tell them the difference. Shut up, Amy. Enough money to fund your YouTube breakout. So you guys know, shut up. Thank you, Amy, who I really want to call Ami, who lies to me about where she's from. I know you're from New Zealand. Shut up. Pennies smell like blood. That's just your tumor, Pam. I know you don't have it anymore. British coins are so thick. That made me really uncomfortable, Kay. Like, that felt very sexual. Can you not call British coins thick things? Um, oh, you banned her? Oh, we can go back and fix it. Hold on. Nobody talk. No, it was just deleted. Oh, I fixed it. Iowa, say something. Um, Australia has $1 and $2 coins because you're stupid. We tried to introduce a $1 coin and we absolutely thank you, babe. It blocked her, but it turns out I can right click and unblock her. Shut up. I it's been 2 hours. I don't want to talk to you anymore. However, now we're going to pivot to Girl World. So Girl World is a specific part of YouTube that is mainly 2, sometimes 3 content creators, um, that are issues, right? They're issues. But oh, I don't wanna say this on my channel because it feels gross to brag. Okay, then come here and didn't murder you and also bought $1,000 worth of my Pyrex. Why brag on my channel, Jamie? But that's amazing, honey. I'm glad you didn't get murdered, kind of. It would have made good content for me. Um, that would have been really good content, Jamie. Rude. Um, Also, Millennial Meg's white blood cell count being up, super solid content. Um, oh no, Iowa, don't feel bad. Nobody cares. I love you. It doesn't matter. This is a safe space. Is it though? What was I talking about? Oh, it's so everybody knows. I've briefly talked about Girl World before, but in case you don't know, it's 3 women of certain girth doesn't feel like a correct word. I'm trying to dance, right? Um, okay, everybody knows of Bujina Booney, Shujina Shuni. Do we all know? Tatina Tui. She is, speaking of skeletons, content creator. Patina Pui. Do not put her name in the chat. Anyways, it's a content creator of very petite structure. And YouTube is getting sued specifically because that kind of behavior of feelings, relationships with food is, um, unless they've been dead for 1,000 years. That's all it is. Yeah. So YouTube is being sued, being like, this is an issue. My kids see it and can mimic the behaviors, right? And I haven't dived too much into what it is, but it's been a long time where everybody's being like, why are we letting this get money, right? Do I study history? Sometimes. It's not like a hyper focus of mine. It is. Um, but on the other side of that coin, Iowa, don't. I love you. You're my favorite. Um, Amy is not my favorite. Do you know why? It's because she's a New Zealander. On the other side of that, there are other content creators who make content with a different relationship with food, right? And also are kind of really mean. Really, really mean. One of them killed maybe 2 cats. Definitely one. Um, and then the other one is a lot, right? And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I watch it all of the time. Um, but they all lost their monetization one after another. And the last one, I can't believe how that happened. But like one, she's been doing YouTube only. It's her only job. Since she was 20. She's 33 now. And how is she gonna like how is she going to make her paycheck? So then now they're all scrambling because they lost their monetization and people are like watching this happen. And Italians are mid. Oh, it popped both of those knuckles. And then now everybody's trying to learn how to stream on Twitch so that they can get money and stuff like that. And it's just like crazy to me what's happening. And I am watching it so much. And I wish you guys watched it too so we could talk about it. But then there's a reaction channel. I only watch the reaction channels. And that's people watching their content and then just like talking crap about it. And right after on my live stream, I made remember when I made my Marry Me chicken with orzo? He mentioned that he's like, this reactor's like, oh, I just made Marry Me chicken with orzo. And I was like, please, please don't watch me and then start reacting to me. Like, I can't handle that. Like, it would hurt my feelings so, like, don't do that. And so I was very scared that he watched my live stream where I was making cooking, and then he was like, I could eat that. And then he made it. Very scared. Why did it get demonetized? Okay, because YouTube is cracking down. And if you go into the terms of service, Jamie, they're being a lot more specific about showing anything about that self-harm. Um, and it's like replicable self-harmy behavior. Does that make sense? Yes, we need a Beth reaction video. I except for my reaction on my own videos. Hey, what that thing do? Marry Me Chicken, it's good. Mine did not turn out that good because I had the wrong orzo and I would not do it again with orzo. You heard YouTube is going to be cracking down on channels about weight, either no weight or too much weight addictions of any sort. Yeah, they have. They demonetize so and but it's like people who eat online talk about how they don't like there's one specific word. I don't know why it would come up for you, Jamie, but it's Bingo was his name. O Bingo. You'll figure out the word. If not, I'll text it to you. You actually bought orzo. The orzo was yucky. It's sorry, he walked by again. He's wearing pants. It's fine. Um, it was the orzo. The orzo was gross. Skeletal that yes. Um, but the people who are not on that side of the coin, but eating while they're talking about how Bingo was his name. Oh, like, I love Bingo and eating an entire rotisserie chicken. Um, and so they're like cracking down on it. And one of them was like, so I can't eat a meal. I'm not allowed to eat a meal. And it's like, okay, but like, do you have to do it online? Nobody's saying you can't do it ever. They're just saying not for monetization on the YouTubes. I'm so gonna get demonetized from this live stream. There's a bunch of Marry Me chicken recipes, right? What was different about it, Iowa? Jamie French covered a bunch. Oh, I should watch that. Jamie French, a great example of somebody who pivoted her channel without changing who she was and is now more successful. But I'm upset. Like I just got sucked into that world where I'm just like, this is wild to me. Wild to me. Oh, here's another thing I want to think about. No, I've been on for an hour, 2 hours. I want all of you guys to shut up. I don't want to wash my face. I don't wanna wash my face. Carol of the Bells is the best Carol like song. I love it so much. Orzo is delicious, but like the tomato and spinach flavored orzo, like there was something tangy about it that I didn't care for. What's her channel about? Jamie French. She covers like pop culture things, a lot of movie reviews. Um, she's really interesting, but she used to do it while putting on her makeup. So she would review a movie and do makeup because she is a makeup artist. That's what she was by trade. But she didn't want to do her makeup anymore. She just wanted to do the videos. And so she was I remember watching her video. She was really scared about changing her content like that and getting away from the makeup part. She was so worried that people were invested for the makeup and nobody was. Everybody was there for her humor. She does skits. She's very interesting. And she's doing stand-up comedy. She's very funny. I like her quite a bit. Quite a bit. Sorry, Pam said feet in history. And then I was gonna say quite a bit, and then I said beats instead of feet. Um, I can't believe I have to wash my stupid ass face. Yeah, Jamie French. She's very, very famous. She's a very famous YouTuber. You love her burb, Ember? It's cute. Oh, there's another one, you guys, I really like. She is a much better YouTuber than I am, so it's always weird to say, but what was her name? Morgan Evelyn Cook. She is cute. And so Morgan Evelyn Cook, besides the fact that she talks much more softly, um, she does similar videos like right? I love her editing. She puts so much effort into it. So when I say that I want to pivot my content when I'm trying to grow as a YouTuber, I'm not saying that I don't want to be me at all. But I am watching Morgan Evelyn Cook quite a bit because I really like her editing. Thank you, Betty. I appreciate that so much, baby. Good night, Shanalyn. Ba-ding dong. I don't know why. She's so incredibly talented. Damn it. Better off red. Okay. Did he do it? He did. Okay. I want to go to bed. I don't want to wash my face. If I lay in bed, will one of you come take my makeup off for me? If I get all of Lexi's pennies, I'm going to hire somebody to do my skincare routine while I'm actively trying to sleep. And somebody to wash my hair. And somebody who rubs my feet / calves as I fall asleep. Not you, Steven. Pervert. Yes. Okay. A skincare slave. We're not rich anymore. I'm so sweaty. All right, shut up. I love you guys. Most of you guys. Ami, Amy, you know how I feel about you. Okay. Bye.